The Oni sisters of the hidden village. Noctunal Reveries Sisters 1, and it's all set now. She smoothed out the wrinkles on the white bedsheets and nodded after checking the quality of her work. It's a task that I have become accustomed to doing, but it's never a good thing to do things without focusing. No matter what the job is, getting used to it and becoming careless with it are two sides of the same coin. A bit of slackness can give birth to a minor mistake that eventually develops into a huge error. If you think of it that way, you can be serious about the daily chores. Besides, Rem doesn't want her bad side to be seen by Subaru. She gently touched her cheeks, which felt slightly hot to the touch. This heat on my cheeks is the sign of my feelings for the person I love, for the one who makes my heart flutter. The black-haired boy that appears when I close my eyes always keeps Rem warm. For example, even on days like today when Rem doesn't happen to be around him. Rem wonders if Subaru is fine all alone, even though Master Roswal and Lady Amelia are with him. It hasn't been long since he started working. Her hands still on her cheeks. A feeling of restlessness got mixed in with the heat her heart was sending. The boy who was accompanying the lord of the manor and his important guest was full of determination. But nobody would ever have a hard time if their work ability was equal to their level of determination. If the situation was the same as always, then either I or my sister could accompany him and help him out with his work. But, it's something called experiencing things. Occasions like this might increase for Subaru in the future. He needs to become independent someday, so you need to watch over him, all right? Her appeal was denied by the words of her master, and that's how things happened. The owner of the mansions, Roswal's, profound thoughts aren't beyond the ability to comprehend. He must have thoroughly thought about the things I'm worried about a long time ago. In fact, accompanying him on that trip isn't much of a difficult task. I think it's an ideal task considering it's meant to make Subaru independent. I guess. But even so, Subaru. Rem, can I take up some of your time for a bit? Eek! She widened her eyes at the voice that suddenly came from behind and quickly turned around. She saw a perfect being standing at the entrance to the room. She was a beauty with pink hair and pink eyes, and her brows were slightly raised at Rem's exaggerated reaction. With the assistance of her surprise from before, she got trapped in Ram's beautiful eyes and was left temporarily speechless. Rem, did something happen? Oh no, I'm sorry, sister. Rem was surprised and also enchanted by sister. I see, it can't be helped then, since Ram is Rem's older sister. You can admire Ram as much as you like. Rem thought that her response didn't make much sense, but the person responding to her, Ram, was kind. She relaxed her lips into a gentle smile that was full of confidence, slightly puffing out her chest, and with the same kindness said, since, and then continued, there's no one in the mansion apart from Ram and Rem. Two Rem and Ram, who worked at Roswal Manor, were sisters, but surprisingly, they didn't have much time to spend alone together. To be more precise, they couldn't get much time to spend alone together. Around 10 years had passed since they started working as maids at Roswal Manor, but they were never able to get time off, no matter how good their work got due to getting used to it. In the end, even if Ram and Rem were skilled maids, it was not easy to manage and maintain a large mansion with only a few servants. Moreover, since Ram is useless every day when it comes to the work in the mansion, Ram muttered, while doing 1/10 of the work Rem does. If Subaru was here, he might have criticized Ram's unapologetic attitude. But unfortunately, since he was away, no unnecessary comments were made. Ram felt grateful that she didn't have to shut his meddlesome mouth because of that. This situation without Barusu is probably easier on Ram's mental state. That noisy, loud, and restless boy was an oddity that had recently moved into Roswal Manor, and he was Roswal's favorite for some reason, so she couldn't be cold with him. And while doing that, one more reason was added to the list of why she couldn't be cold with him. Sister, is Subaru fine? Rem hopes that Subaru doesn't make a grave mistake while accompanying Master Roswal and Lady Amelia. Rem made a guidebook about countermeasures of the problems that Rem could think of and gave it to Subaru, just in case. So Subaru will definitely be fine, I think. But it doesn't mean that Subaru won't face problems that Rem can't think of. Maybe it's better for Rem to go after. Rem, calm down. Ram said, looking up quickly and stopping her younger sister, who would have run right out of the mansion without a second thought, by grabbing her shoulder. Rem opened her eyes wide at Ram's words and the sensation of her touch and looked down in shame. My apologies. Sister, that was thoughtless of Rem. That's right. It's good that you were able to reconsider things on your own, since it looked like you were about to run off. Yes, it was outrageous. Rem should make tomorrow's breakfast and lunch for sister and leave without any regrets, is that right? It's unfortunate, but it seems like we need to talk a bit more. Rem was getting pumped up with a cute face, but the direction of her enthusiasm wasn't what Ram had expected. The boy that Rem couldn't stop caring about like this, Natsuki Subaru, was the first person apart from her twin sister that Rem had been shy and reserved with and had strongly cared about. Ram, as a person who doted on her younger sister, couldn't bring herself to be cold against someone who Rem held such feelings for. And thus, Ram felt like she was being too soft on Subaru because of that. Although a suspicious newbie is someone worthy of being bullied to death, is what Ram thinks, Ram thought. But anyway, Barusu is becoming somewhat useful. That's why Master Roswal took him along on this trip. It's not that Ram doesn't have anything to say about that, but it can't be helped. Sister has something to say about it too. Are you worried about Subaru? Ram is worried that Barusu will get carried away when they get there and embarrass Master Roswal. Also, Barusu disturbing Lady Amelia. Apart from that is frustration at Ram's duty being taken away. Originally, it was often Ram who was assigned to accompany Roswal on his outings. Consequently, Rem would stay behind in the mansion, separating the sisters. That's how things usually were. But this time, that role got stolen by Subaru. It was something that made Ram, who was extremely loyal to Roswal, really angry. But it isn't like there isn't anything good about it, Ram thought. Since Ram and Rem can spend some quality time together like this. Ah, sister. Ram's fingers gently parted Rem's bangs and touched her forehead. The ticklish feeling made Rem lower her eyebrows, her cheeks turning slightly red as she lowered her face. There was a bed behind Rem that she had made just a moment ago. Ram and Rem had their own private rooms, but this was the guest room that wasn't usually used. The guest bed was huge, large enough for them to sleep together side by side. So they were preparing to spend a rather luxurious night together. Ram would feel lonely if it got ruined with Rem worrying about Barusu. You are right. Since Lady Amelia and Subaru told us to enjoy our time together while it's just the two of us. Yes, it is one of the few favorable things that Barusu's existence has created. Okay, Rem will also hold back her tears and become an Oni. Rem squeezed her hand into a fist in front of her chest and made up her mind. And at the sight of such a lovable younger sister, Ram held back from pointing out that they were Onis to begin with. Anyway, what's important is that we should enjoy our time together while it's just the two of us, like Barusu said, even though it's frustrating to admit. And so, Ram and Rem were spending the night together with just the two of them. In fact, wishing to be all alone with Ram in the mansion wasn't something she could just wish for, since Roswal Manor typically only had 2 servants. Rem was really grateful for Subaru's existence in that regard, too. Actually, it isn't just the two of us since Miss Beatrice is also here, Rem said. Oh, now that you mention it, I forgot about her since he rarely shows up. Haha, it's not nice to say it like that, sister. Rem smiled gently, looking at Ram's side profile in her nightwear as they laid side by side in the huge bed, since Ram was trying to make her laugh by saying things she didn't mean. Beatrice, who shut herself in the forbidden library of the mansion, didn't usually come out. But she was seen often outside the forbidden library nowadays, probably due to Subaru's influence. A long time ago, when Rem had just started working at the mansion, Rem thought that the existence of Miss Beatrice was a lie or a joke. That's because she doesn't show herself. Ram doesn't blame Rem for thinking that way. Since when did sister start seeing Miss Beatrice? I don't know, but I do wonder. Ram thinks it was around the same time as Rem, Ram replied, tilting her head and looking back at Rem. Rem couldn't determine if Ram was being honest or just being considerate towards her, but Rem felt like she was being supported and helped by her beautiful and wise older sister. And it has been like that since my birth to every moment of my life. Until just a little while ago, I often felt guilty about it, but Rem, no, it's nothing, sister. It's just that Subaru is wonderful. Ram doesn't know how the conversation about Miss Beatrice came to this. Barusu, oh, is it because Barusu is friendly with Miss Beatrice? Well, that's quite the spectacle. The reason why she was feeling less guilty towards Ram was due to Subaru. His words had opened up a new world for Rem, and she was extremely grateful for that. Leaving that aside, she could agree with Ram about Subaru's relationship with Beatrice. As mentioned above, Beatrice had been confined to the Forbidden Library, so much so that her existence had been shrouded in doubt. It was only fairly recently that she started showing herself to Rem and the others. But now she always comes to dine. Ram thinks that the main reason was the great spirit that Lady Amelia has with her. But the one that the great spirit cares about the most is Lady Amelia. Puck, who had a contract with Amelia, and Beatrice had known each other for a long time. The two were as close as a brother and a sister, but Puck's priorities were clear, and it seemed like Beatrice had no intention of complaining about it. It would be far too arrogant to interfere with it as an outsider, but Barusu doesn't seem to care. It was as Ram had mentioned. Subaru had closed the distance between him and her without any regard or consent. No, it wasn't only the case with Beatrice. Rem was also one of the people whose boundaries had been breached. Ram, Roswal, and even Amelia were also definitely included in the list. A lot of things keep changing, Rem said. Yes, that's right. Ram doesn't think that it's a bad thing. The cause of that being Barusu is the only thing Ram doesn't like. Sister. But then, it's not like he doesn't have any achievements, so that and Ram's frustration cancel each other out in Ram's mind. Sister. Rem, her eyes lighting up after hearing her sister's benevolent judgment, grabbed Ram's hand. The two sisters were laying on the bed side by side, facing each other. They were so close that they could feel each other's breaths as they held hands, gazing at the face in front of them they had seen every day for oh so long. She narrowed her pink eyes and gazed at Rem kindly and compassionately. Ram had been looking at Rem like this ever since they were born, so much so that Rem couldn't picture any of Ram's other expressions. Rem knew that this was how Ram expressed her love and how she herself received love. But Rem also wants to love sister back. If the way she saw the world had changed, then the way she loved her loved one could change too. I'd like to be able to give back what was given to me, rather than just getting used to the luxury of being on the receiving end, so that I can become someone I can like, Rem thought while tightly holding her sister's hand. It was because of that vivid moment that I can think about things like this, and I can hope for tomorrow. Subaru is wonderful. 4. After Rem fell fast asleep while breathing softly, Ram reached out to her sleeping face. She gently brushed her bangs away from her forehead, and the faintly ticklish expression on Rem's face made her feel even more love for her. That made her feel like she had even more reason to complain about what she had said before she'd fallen asleep. You aren't even here. Unspoken anger started boiling up at the man who was still occupying Rem's heart. She told Rem that her frustration got cancelled by his achievement. But the achievement was only a one-time thing, and the frustration was something that accumulated day by day. So even Ram didn't know how long this offset would last. Anyway, if even Ram thinks about Barusu, it'd just be doing what he wants. Disgusting. If Subaru was here, he would have claimed that it was a false accusation, but the only people present here were the two sisters, who were close to each other. And on top of that, the only one awake was the elder sister. Ram banished the noisy boy from her mind and lowered her eyebrows at her sister's peaceful, sleeping face. In the past, Rem used to have restless expressions even when she was asleep. Ram, who visited her sister's bed from time to time, was pained by her sister blaming herself. She was now at ease, however, for the tenseness in her cheeks had melted away along with the cause of her frowning. Tomorrow, when she woke up, Rem would be next to her. Or Rem, who would wake up next to Ram, would end up seeing her sleeping face instead. The thought of it made her feel all fuzzy inside, which was no exaggeration. She thought that it was such a shame to close her eyes, but she did anyway and got ready to fall asleep. She wished to enjoy every minute and every second of today and looked forward to every moment of tomorrow. She wondered if Rem thought the same thing, and then she suddenly realized something. Come to think of it, Ram didn't serve dinner to Miss Beatrice. Beatrice almost always showed up in the dining room lately, but today, Ram was all alone with Rem, so they didn't sit around the table with everyone like always. Ram should get up and prepare dinner, but that would wake Rem up. Ram thinks that Miss Beatrice will forgive her. Ram thought that if something happened, she could just send Beatrice's complaints Subaru's way. Thinking that before falling asleep, she cursed the fact that she ended up thinking about him again, then dreamed about tomorrow with her dearest sister as she slowly drifted off to sleep. The end.